Hi everyone, welcome to Strike. Today I'm going to show you a new feature that we have just launched, that is peer comparison within stocks. So whenever you go to a certain stock in Strike, you see certain tabs here at the top, and you can see that a new tab has been added here, which is peer comparison. So as the name suggests, what peer comparison helps you do it is that it helps you compare the stocks and its peers, or you can even add your own stocks and compare those on various different parameters. So I'm going to explain what all special features we have tried to include here. So as you can see, firstly, let's talk about adding the symbols. So you can add more peers from this add menu. You can see all other stocks from the sector that you have selected, or you can choose any other sector stocks as well. Even you can compare with any index. And lastly, you can also add stocks from your own watch list. So you can add any stocks you want here and those will get plotted. Now talking about the criterias of comparison. So you can see there is a predefined screen which you are seeing here, and you have an option to choose different time frames, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and it tells you whether that particular indicator is bullish and what is the level, is the what is the RMI doing, what is the Dow trend doing. Now these are all predefined screens. So let's talk about each one. So within technicals, you get one predefined overview screen. One is predefined for simple moving averages, similarly exponential moving averages, similarly other indicators. Okay. Now if I talk about fundamentals, you get a lot of predefined screens, mainly returns, valuations, margins, efficiency, leverage, and all. Now the good part here is you'll also get a graphical representation for each whichever you data point you have selected. I'll come to that in a while. First, I'll just go through everything. So now talking about these ratios, you're all aware that some ratios are there only for banking stocks, right? So if I open up a stock like, let's say, HDFC Bank and go to peer comparison, here you can see this category banking and operating metrics. So ratios which are applicable only to banking companies will also be included here. So all kinds of data is available. So I'll go back to previous talk where I was showing you the other features. So apart from fundamentals, you get price performance. So price performance is nothing but how the stocks have performed over various periods, namely one day, one week, one month, and so on. And the good part is you can even plot that performance at the bottom and see it. So now let's talk about the unique features of the peer comparison module. So let's say you have added more stocks here, which were not there in the first go. Okay. Now you want to see the graphical representation of the same. So at max it supports about 9 stocks at once, but you can surely change it from here. So let's say if I don't want this, but I want the other one, now that has got plotted. Now even from the legends, I can enable or disable certain stocks to focus on which data I am looking at. You can even expand this chart, whether you want to look at the performance in a table format or a chart format. So this was about price performance. Similarly, in fundamentals also, this behavior is same, where you can add or remove stocks and view the data points, be it graphically or in the table format. So all sophisticated ratios are available here, whichever you want to use for your analysis. Now comes one of the most important factors of peer comparison, which is custom peer comparison. So custom peer comparison, as you can see, it shows me 1 by 100, which means I've created only one. I can have as many as 100 different custom peer comparison criterias of my own. So let's say I create a new one, test peers. Now it's up to me which criterias I want to use. Let's say I use both technicals and fundamentals, and I want to see the 20-day moving average, and let's say I also want to see 20 weekly average. Okay, and I am interested in looking at MACD daily. So as soon as I click apply, all those columns here get added. Now let's say along with this I also want to look at what has been their 3-month performance. Okay. And I want to look at various different fundamental factors. Okay. Now, you know that all these categories I have already shown you, which were there in the predefined screens, whichever columns you want to see. Now, what is additional here is, and what is important here is, this is valuation placement. So all the existing Strike users are already aware with the Strike valuation setup, where we look at 1 year, 2, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year ratios and check whether the stock is near its averages or higher standard deviations or near the negative standard deviation, to analyze whether the stock is undervalued or overvalued. Now see, in valuation placement you get option to choose between 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year again. So if I, let's say I go to 5 year and I want to see the P ratio and I click apply. So the PE 5 year, it tells me for this stock it is between its mean and +1 standard deviation. Similarly for this stock it is between +2 and +1 standard deviation. Similarly for some stocks it's already above second standard deviation, and for some it is also between mean and -1 standard deviation. So I can quickly analyze whether a stock is where the stock is placed on a certain fundamental ratio. So I can drill down to that stock and do my own analysis. So in my opinion, custom peer comparison is a groundbreaking feature where you can add various different columns as per your need, and it does not stop you from adding more and more columns. So let's say if I add a lot of columns, it will keep adding those columns here and you'll get an option to scroll. So you can have as many criteria as you want and do your analysis between your own stocks or the peer stocks and look at all the data visually. If you have added any stock by mistake and you want to remove it, you can go to the same menu, deselect those stocks, and that will be removed from the comparison. Similarly, if you want to remove any columns from the peer comparison, custom peer comparison that you have added, you can do it in two ways. One is by simply hovering here and clicking the cross button, and then that column gets removed. Second option is you can go to the same menu, deselect, make your changes whichever columns you want, which you don't want, and hit apply, and the columns will be changed accordingly. If you wish to rename or delete the custom peer comparison, you have to use this 3 dot. So for example, I'm going to rename it and save the name. Now, if you want to delete the peer comparison itself, again, you can use this 3 dot menu and delete the comparison. So it gives you a very quick process to go through various factors of different stocks and drill down to your few stocks that you want to focus on. So if you like this feature, please stay tuned to our platform and do give us your feedback so that we can continuously improve the platform. Thank you for watching.